and that is with the New Orleans Pelicans. They were reportedly interested in trading for Jarett Allen or Isaiah Stewart, which is just crazy. The Pelicans want to upgrade their center position, are looking to trade for a center under contract. And Jarett Allen, he is under contract. I think he's making what, 20? We talked about this last week. Is it 25 million he's making? And then Isaiah Stewart, he just signed his new contract, which I think goes into effect next season at around 16 million, which is going to look really favorable. Shriver is a genius. Just want to get that out there. I think it's crazy that we as fans don't. I mean, you and I, we love Isaiah Stewart. I feel like we talk about him in a pretty positive way, but it just kills me how many rumors Isaiah Stewart has been a part of this offseason. He seems like a pretty valuable player, and I get the impression other teams around the league have watched his progression from his rookie year, and they believe he'll take another step as a shooter, like so much of us think he will. I also think his defense, a lot of fans don't give him credit for it, because I've talked about it before. He's pretty versatile on the defensive side. Like, he can make guys uncomfortable on the perimeter, can play the 4 or the 5. He's a much better rim protector. He's never going to lead the league in blocks, but he has like a 7'3" wingspan, even though he's only like 6'8". NBA University, they highlighted his rim protection. I wish I had the stat brought up to me, but dude, he's an incredible defender. I'm not surprised other teams are looking for him. I just don't think it happens. I don't know. I mean, unless you're going to offer Trey Murphy, I don't want to hear anything, or Brandon Ingram, which I know is not going to happen. But if you're not offering me Trey Murphy or Brandon Ingram for Isaiah Stewart, I'm going to have I'm just going to politely hang up the phone every time.
Yeah, it's so funny you say Trey Murphy, because we have Louise talking about Trey Murphy. We got other people talking about Trey Murphy. We got people talking about stuff that I'm not going to answer, Derek. You ask that every week. I'm not answering that question. Not trying to get demonetized. But to answer your question, I think the Pelicans, when I read this article from The Athletic, they're looking at Jonas Valanciunas, and he's not under contract for too much longer. I think what the Pelicans are trying to do is they're looking for centers that they can trade for that are under contract, because they got Zion Williamson, they got Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum. Like, they have a lot of money invested into their, core foundation.
Yeah.
I think financially it would make more sense for them to go after Stewart, but I could understand why they want to go after Jarett Allen. I think Jarett Allen would be amazing for them, by the way. I think he would be just a perfect fit. And I don't really know why Cleveland's trying to trade him. We've seen him in so much trade rumors this summer. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised by both of these guys popping up in trade rumors, because Jarett Allen is a one-time All-Star, pretty good defender. I just think Cleveland, you have Donovan Mitchell and you have Darius Garland, but outside of that, like, you're kind of clogging the paint having Jarett Allen and Evan Mobley together, because Evan Mobley, neither of them are much of an outside shooter. And I think really just trying to roll with Evan Mobley at the 5. But am I crazy for thinking the Pelicans should just play Zion Williamson at the 5 and have Trey Murphy and Brandon Ingram play the 3 and the 4, and then have Herb Jones and CJ McCollum out there in the backcourt? Like, I mean, just Zion.
I don't know.
5. It'd be undersized, not winning very many jump balls, but it's not like he's playing great defense anyways.
To answer your question, I don't think Zion should play the 5, because the guy barely plays as it is.
Well, if he's
he'd probably get hurt, honestly. Even though Zion's strong as hell, he'd probably get hurt with like some centers like out there.
I think, dude, he'd pick him apart. It'd be crazy on offense. I mean, he'd struggle against like Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic or, guys like that in that caliber. But I think overall he'd be all right.
I think I do want to focus on the Stewart thing, because we're talking about the Cavs and the Pelicans. I think from the Pistons perspective and the Pistons side, I don't think they gave Isaiah Stewart an extension just to trade him.
Yeah.
Like, if the Pistons were going to trade Isaiah Stewart, it probably would have been last season when he had the most interest. Like, I think we talked about it maybe a month ago. Like, Isaiah Stewart was the most asked about Detroit Piston player when it came to trades. Like, teams asked about Isaiah Stewart. Apparently the Pelicans were really high on Isaiah Stewart, and they wanted to trade up to draft him, but the Pistons kind of, jumped them to get him. So I think there's always been interest from the Pelican side with Isaiah Stewart, which I'm not surprised. Like Isaiah Stewart is a very good basketball player, whether people in Detroit want to admit that or not. I think Isaiah Stewart, and I've said it a couple of times, I think he's our glue guy. He's one of those guys that you want to keep because he's just a good foundation piece to just kind of keep everything together. Like you need those glue guys on your team, and I think Troy Weaver and the Pistons front office think very highly of him, and so do I. I don't think he's ever gonna average 25 points a game, but he's going to be a guy that can switch defensively. I think that 3-point shot is a real thing. I don't think it's a fluke. Some people think that he can't shoot from the outside. I think that 3-point shot could be something to keep your eye on this season. I think he could easily shoot 33, 34% from three. I just think for the Pistons, if you're going to try to trade for Isaiah Stewart, Troy Weaver asked for 2 first-round picks for Bojan. Couldn't imagine what he would ask for Isaiah Stewart.
I think the contract thing too, like I got into this with someone on Twitter just a little bit ago. And I think the contract, I think it's pretty fair for Isaiah Stewart. I honestly think in a couple seasons, we're going to see like, damn, that's like kind of like under market for him. And I think that's like, if he had showed out this season, like if he's shooting like, I don't know, 34% from three, like you were saying, that contract, he's not getting 16 million. He's getting much closer to 20 million, if not over 20 million, if he's shooting that well from the outside. So I think some people look at it as a move that might have been made too early, but I think it's a way to have more cap control going forward when the team gets better.